Ah, Christmas, the most joyous, heartwarming holiday. What's not to like? You have jolly old Saint Nick delivering presents, Christmas trees, Christmas carols, which brings us to our jolly festive favourite.
The second time I saw it, when I saw the younger kids, I really wanted to tell them not to see this. It's really scary.
Oh, shut up, you tart!
Yes, I'm talking about the much polarised classic Batman Returns. And yes, it's a Christmas film. Fuck off if you don't agree. Before I get to the actual movie, then let me do a quick run through of the first Batman, made back in 1989. Batman was a fun, dark, brooding crime fantasy, bringing the dark, gritty tone of the original comics to the big screen after years of the character being pigeonholed as part of the campy TV series for nearly 3 decades. And despite the backlash Michael Keaton received after being cast as Batman, he pulled it off like a fucking boss. It made Tim Burton one of the most sought after directors, and showed that Jack Nicholson is always fun whenever he gets to go crazy. It smashed the box office, and even though Tim Burton was reluctant at first to continue another Batman movie, he was somehow convinced for obvious reasons. They gave him a blank check, went through rewrites of the scripts, went through production, and in the summer, not Christmas, of 1992, Batman Returns was finally released. The plot revolves around the Penguin who, after he survives being drowned as a baby by Pee Wee Herman,
this is crack,
ends up being found and taken in by, penguins and circus folks.
That makes sense to me.
Cut to 30 years later, Penguin, played by Danny DeVito, is out for revenge and uses corporate arsehole Max Schreck as leverage to get him above ground and gain the public's confidence and sympathy under false pretenses while secretly planning to murder all of the firstborn children in Gotham City. Meanwhile, sexy put-upon secretary assistant Selena Kyle, who survived Max Schreck's attempt to kill her, goes crazy, turns a PVC jacket into a catsuit that covers the entire body.
That makes sense to me.
And sets out to exact revenge on her ruthless boss. And with Penguin being recommended as the new mayor, only one man can stop them both. Nah, just joking. It's this fucking legend. Batman Returns was and still seems to have divided people since its release over 30 years ago. It's too dark, it's too violent, it's too grim, its story is muddled, the script is lousy. Or, it's the best Batman ever, the visuals are great, the actors are great, the score by Danny Elfman is great. And to be honest, I do agree with both. This is pure Tim Burton at his most Burton-esque, and at times it works. Other times, it just comes across as silly. So what works? Well, the actor. Michael Keaton, despite his limited screen time, still kills it as Bruce Wayne, aka Batman. And I'll go more into his interpretation when I do the first Batman video, as it seems more necessary to delve more deeper there. He seems to be more socially active here than he was in the first one. We see him attend meetings, social events. It's a sign of how he's evolved since his relationship with Vicky Vale, and it's done in a very subtle way. But what is a good hero without a good set of villains? Danny DeVito really plays up his role as the Penguin, distancing himself from the more goofy performance of Burgess Meredith for a more grotesque, perverted, psychotic take on the character. And he looks like he's having a ball, but still plays the tragedy of his character with genuine sincerity. The only problem is the parts where you're supposed to feel sympathy for him doesn't work. And why? Because he laughs off running old ladies over after he takes control of the Batmobile.
This old lady at 12 o'clock,
He gropes women.
Let me Get it on there. You dirty bird.
And worst of all, intends to kill every firstborn child in Gotham. And don't get me wrong, his parents' attempts to murder him for his appearance, leading him to be isolated and alienated from society, is a good idea for developing a sympathetic villain. But some rewrites could have helped. Maybe seeing people accept him after his years of being shunned started to make him have a change of heart, leading him to discard his vengeful plans, only to find out Shrek is using him to further his own plans, therefore shattering his optimism of humanity, and that being the very thing that reverts him back to his vengeful ways. Fact, come to think of it, didn't Batman the Animated Series and Gotham do that a bit better? But I digress, it's still a great performance, and he still got a few laughs out of me.
By the way, how's Fred Atkins, your old partner?
Fred? Fred's actually, I believe he's on extended vacation. He's good.
Good. Hi, Max, remember me? I'm Fred's hand.
But when it does come to the villain that does come across sympathetic, it's Catwoman herself, Selina Kyle, played by Michelle Pfeiffer. And what can I say? She looks fucking smoking in that catsuit, and she steals every fucking scene she's in. But she's more than just a piece of eye candy to ogle. When we first meet her, she's a mousy, clumsy, unorganised secretary. But after her ordeal with Shrek, she goes crazy, becomes obsessed with exacting revenge against her abusive boss. This is a woman who has been driven to madness, and she fucking sells it. And God, has crazy never been so hot thanks to Michelle Pfeiffer's charismatic performance.
Thus, if she's this crazy, she has to be this hot. If she's this crazy, she has to be this hot.
Okay, being brought back from the brink of death by cats and acting like a cat does really require a huge suspension of your belief. But she plays the part with enough sincerity to make you sympathise with the grief she's been put through. And when Bruce shows some interest in her, she starts to feel some hint of humanity again. To me, it was the doomed romance between Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle that made this film. These are two people lost, changed forever by their traumas, which causes them to share this kind of messed up connection they could never have with anyone else.
Was Vicky right about your difficulty with duality?
If I say yes, then you're going to think of me as a Norman Bates, Ted Bundy type, and
It's the so-called normal guys who always let you down. Sickos never scare me. At least they're committed.
But this being a Batman tale, and because they're enemies once they both don the alter egos they keep secret from each other, you know it's going to end in tears, with Selina's lust for vengeance growing stronger, and Wayne's futile need to save her getting the better of him. This is the Batman that achieved his vengeance against the man who killed his parents. It's obvious it hasn't made him happier, because why else is he preventing her from going down the same road as he did? Christopher Walken
Yawn.
is his usual weird self as Max Shrek, hamming it up, not giving a shit, and having a fucking ball playing this ruthless, corrupt businessman. Man, did he get a few sick laughs out of me.
huh? Huh?
He's a two-faced prick playing charitable Samaritan in public, while happily stepping over anyone he deems beneath him. But I did like the moment where Penguin threatens to kill his son Chip, played by fucking Zaggy from Street Fighter, and Max begs Penguin to spare him in exchange for his own life.
Iota of human feeling, take me instead.
I don't. So no.
Max, not Chip. Or you want to see him immersed to his eyeballs in raw sewage.
That was beautiful.
A rare moment that humanises him. Michael Gough returns as Alfred, and once again he pulls off both the protective nature he feels towards Wayne, as the only man left as his father figure, concerned about the life he leads while staying loyal to him. The film itself can be hard to pin down. When it comes to Batman, its world and its characters, Batman Returns plays fast and loose with the original source material, something that has divided fans even more so ever since the numerous incarnations that came after. It's basically Tim Burton's vision of Batman with barely any resemblance to the original comics. Fans of the comics claim it's what harms the movie, but to be honest, I disagree. Even as a fan of the comics, I'm open to interpretation for a character as long as it's done well. And yes, Batman killing seems to be the thing that most fans hate about the Burton movies, and that's a whole debate that can be done in a separate video, but sometimes changes from the original source material can be a good thing if it serves the story, and here, even with its flaws, the change feels more warranted. Burton's dark style really helps give this universe a unique look where you can't help but immerse yourself in it. While the first Batman movie was more in line with the noirish pulps of the 30s, this harks back to the same look of the Hammer horrors, but crossed with modern times. Gotham looks like the worst place to live in, but at the same time, you can't help but marvel its grimness, and the fact it's surrounded in snow and Christmas only adds to the grim but beautiful decrepit scenery. But sadly, the majority of the scenes always seems to centre on this one location, the City Hall, instead of exploring Gotham City a bit more. It's a big sprawling city, and spending more time around City Hall makes Gotham City feel like Gotham fucking Village. Also, nothing makes any fucking sense. Where did Penguin get the blueprints to the Batmobile? Where did he get a Batmobile designed arcade driving game that's used to control the Batmobile? How did the cats bring Selina back to life? Why didn't Batman jump down to rescue the princess? He's fucking Batman. Jump down, grab her, deploy a grappling gun. Also, Commissioner Gordon is fucking useless in this movie, and he barely has any screen time. But also, it suffers from never feeling like it evolves into anything truly epic. Tim Burton was practically given a blank check to do what he liked, yet the scale of returns feels smaller than the first Batman, which shouldn't be the case. The best Batman stories have always been on a big epic scale, and yet it feels so restricted. It's a major problem that holds the movie back and prevents it from ever being great. Yeah, Batman Returns is nowhere near as great as the first film, but seeing this gothic nightmarish shithole of a city surrounded in beautiful Christmas decorations, Danny Elfman's score ranging from comedic to haunting, the actors giving it their all, and the insanely humorous mean-spirited tone truly makes this a funny yet haunting festive fright fest. So sit down, relax with a nice bucket of raw fish to guzzle, slip on your S&M gear, and enjoy this disjointed yet grimly welcoming Christmas nightmare.
Well, come what may. Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne.
Merry Christmas, Alfred. Goodwill toward men. And women.
And whether you beautiful bastards are Northern English or not, thanks for watching. And do remember to like, subscribe and comment. But right now, that's me done. And I'm off to the pub for some Christmas fucking cheer. Hooray!